Today, being the last day, we're going to take a look at a fabulous lesson that we learn from the Bhagavad Gita, and that is objectivity. Most of us are involved, bound, imprisoned by our own world. It's like you create a world, you project a world, and then you get bound by the same world that you project. And that is a killer. Because then you suffer, you can't enjoy, and you live a stunted life. As against this, you must break free and have a totality view of things. That is the message behind Krishna's birth. Krishna was born in a prison, the prison of the body, mind, and intellect. But because there was identification with Atman, 100% identification with Atman, the moment he was born, the gates of the prison flung open. So the body, mind, and intellect cannot imprison Atman. And you are Atman. But you appear to be bound because of the association with an unintelligent identification and attachment with the body, mind, and intellect. So you get caught by what? This moment. You get caught up in it, you get entangled in it, you get enmeshed in it, and engulfed with the problem, with the situation. Even when you are engulfed with the situation, mentally you can break free. And how do you do that? Have a horizontal view. You say, I am one person in the world, or I am one person in the city of Mumbai. It doesn't matter what happens to me. The city will go on, the country will go on, the world will go on. Take a vertical view of your own life. What is this? However traumatic this particular experience appears to be, when you look at it from, let's say, 10 years from now, you look back at it, you need to be reminded about it. You remember how you were traumatized by this particular incident, and you are able to laugh it off because then you are objective. Now you are unable to be objective. So the trick is in taking the view that you would take 10 years from now or 15 years from now, right now. That is the vertical view. The day you got married. Why 10, 15 years? After 5 years, you have to be reminded, you got married on this day. But on that day, you can't think straight. They're all topsy-turvy. When you're involved, you react to situations. What I mean by reaction is, the world impinges on you. The world sends stimuli to you. And these stimuli are transmitted to the mind and intellect, your inner personality, where there is a reaction between your desires and the stimuli that have entered you. And if you don't scan it with the intellect, if you're not objective, then there's an immediate sharp reaction. You bark back, in other words. When a dog barks at you, you bark back. That is not an intelligent thing to do, because then you are dependent, wholly dependent on the stimuli that enter you. A mature person, another word for an objective person is a mature person. A mature person is one who brings the intellect into play and asks himself, does this situation warrant a response in the first place? The more stupid the stimulus that enters you, the more unintelligent the person you're dealing with, the more you don't need to respond at all. It's like when you go for a walk in the morning, if a dog barks at you, if your neighbor's dog barks at you, do you get upset? Do you bark back at the dog? Do you turn around and say, how dare you bark at me? Do you know who I am? I'm the chairman of a company. You don't do that. Because you understand the nature of the dog is to bark, you understand that the dog cannot differentiate between a slum dweller and you. To the dog, you are just a stranger, and he will bark. So you are amused by the dog barking because you're objective, you're mature. But when your wife barks at you, why are you unable to take it in your stride? There are people around who will bark at you constantly. You need to keep your head, hold your head high and understand, be objective. That is what it is. So, an objective person will never get involved, an objective person therefore will never suffer, an objective person will never be dependent on the world. Objectivity is called Sakshi Bhava in Sanskrit. Sakshi Bhava, a witness attitude. A witness is one who merely observes. He is not an interested party. An observer versus being totally involved in it. Like the role of a judge. In a court, a judge is supposed to have an impartial view of both parties. Neither party can be objective. They're both interested parties. They have an axe to grind. They have a stake in it. A judge does not have a stake in it. And if he does, he's supposed to, what do you call that word? Recuse himself from the case. Vedanta teaches you to be objective even if you are an interested party. Even if you have a stake in the matter, even if it is your matter, be completely objective. And this requires growth. Like a mother, when her two children, the son and the daughter, are fighting bitterly about one piece of chocolate. They're calling each other names, and then one person cries and goes and complains to the mother and says, "He called me a pig." And no mother gets involved and starts crying herself. The mother is amused. The mother says, "Really? He called you a pig? But you don't look like a pig. You're not a pig." "No, but he called me a pig." You know, the greatest battles that you fight are nothing but just that. Basically just that. So if only you have the capacity to just take 2 steps backward and view it from the position of a disinterested party, what is traumatizing you today will amuse you. You have to be able to take that stand, at least in retrospect. You have a great fight with somebody, and you call the person names, that person calls you names, it almost boils down to fisticuffs, and then after it's all over, the next morning you're able to laugh over it. You should take that view when you're bang in the middle of the battle. So, Shakespeare puts it beautifully. He says, "All the world's a stage, and all men and women mere players. They have their exits and their entrances. There is no better example than that of an actor on stage. When the actor is playing a particular role, the actor never forgets that he is Mr. Actor." Who's the most popular actor nowadays? Who? Ranbir Kapoor. Oh. Okay. Whoever you. Mr. Ranbir Kapoor playing the role, different roles. Or Naseeruddin Shah playing the role of a terrorist maybe in a movie. Playing the role of an old man in another movie. Playing the role of maybe a psychotic killer in a third movie. But none of the roles that the actor plays makes even the slightest difference to the personality of the actor. Isn't that true? Because, you know, nowadays they're very flexible. In the olden days, the only villain in Hindi movies was Pran. But they say in real life he was a wonderful person. So all the villainous roles that he played did not impinge on him, the actor. And so is it with all of us. Look at the way he says it. They have their exits and their entrances. You just have to play your role to the best of your ability, wholeheartedly. A good actor is one who gets under the skin of the role that he is playing, and he plays it so well that you and I, the audience, gets involved in the role. And so if it's a tragic role, you go there, very soon you'll find a tear coming here and there. People are crying when it's a tragic role. If it's a horror movie, you're jumping out of your skin every 2 minutes. And so on and so forth. You get involved as the audience, but the actor is immaculate, untouched by the role. Yet, he gets in under the skin of that role so well that it's almost as if he and the role are one. Yet they are separate. So therefore, what you need to remember is, these are the roles I'm playing. I'm a member of the family, I'm a citizen of Mumbai, so therefore when elections come, you have to go and vote. You have a responsibility that you should not throw garbage out of your window, so on and so forth. You are a citizen of the nation, you cannot indulge in any anti-national activities. You're a citizen of the world. In the sports arena, you're a sports person. In the field of music, you are an ardent music lover. And so on and so forth. So these are all the roles that you play. When you are in a given role, play that role to the best of your ability. When the time comes to leave, just exit graciously. But that's not what you do. When you get involved, what happens is, it's like in a school play, in, primary school. There are all these little kids, 7 and 8-year-olds. So the one 7-year-old girl has told her parents, you come because I have a role to play in this drama that we are enacting. And the parents don't know that she has a 30-second role. She just has to, carry a tray of water to the main character and exit. For that, she has called, her father has had to shift so many meetings and come to that play, the school program. Now she goes with the tray and stands bang in the middle of the stage looking for, where are my parents? And then she sees her mother and waves furiously to the mother, the glass of water drops. And the teacher has to go and escort her very nicely because all the parents are looking at her, she can't shout at the child. Backstage she gives it to her. We are all like that. We enter the stage of life and then you are involved in your own stuff and you'll forget your words and you drop the glass, you mess up the whole play. And then someone has to come and escort you out because you don't leave the stage. And that's our condition. So, remember, you have a role to play. So, in that role, sometimes people are nasty to you. You know, the hero and the heroine have the greatest challenges. The main character has the greatest challenge. So, if you are in a situation where too many things are happening around you, just understand, I'm the hero of the play. Don't complain. Don't sit there and say, why me? Why does it have to be me? No self-pity here. Just understand this is a difficult role that you have to play. It only means that you are an excellent actor. Because only good actors get difficult roles. Bad actors get only this, carry water around. So, whatever be your role, play it to the best of your ability. Why is it so important to be objective? Because only when you are objective can you enjoy. That is the secret of entertainment, movie or TV serial or whatever it is. When you go to a movie, a thriller, murder, mystery, what is the secret of your enjoyment? There's gory murder taking place, killing taking place, there's tension, there's suspense, there's all sorts of things in the movie. Yet you come out of the movie enjoying it thoroughly and you recommend it to others. You must go and see this murder mystery. Oh, what a fantastic movie. So much suspense. And how brutally they kill the victims. You come and explain all that and you recommend the movie. What is the secret of your enjoyment? That you are different from the movie. You are separate from the movie. You are not involved in that. Even if you had one small role to play in that movie, you wouldn't like it. You certainly wouldn't like to play the role of the victim. You wouldn't like to be the victim. You know you are watching a projection on the screen, that it is unreal, and that you have nothing to do with the movie or any characters in the movie, and therefore you enjoy it. Right? Come to your own life. Why is it that you don't enjoy it? You don't enjoy the challenge. Of course you enjoy. You enjoy only the good things. But those are few and far between. Why don't you enjoy the suspense in your life? Why don't you enjoy the fights that you have in your life? Why don't you enjoy the traffic jams that you get into in your life? Because you're a part of it. You're bang in the middle of it. You need not be. You can just, you have to keep a little distance, not total distance. Just as the actor has to play the role brilliantly. He has to feel the role that he's playing. Yet, he understands, I'm different from him. So the moment the role is over, he's back to his original nature. But you've lost touch with your original nature. You don't even know who you are. You're getting lost in the roles that you're playing, and therefore you suffer. Objectivity is the secret of success. It's the most important quality of a leader. You need to be objective because you are put against situations where, like for instance, a manager, a general manager or a managing director of a company, he is put through all kinds of situations. Let's say the production manager and the sales manager are having a disagreement, a difference of opinion. But each one is looking at the entire situation only from his standpoint, his personal angle. This is what Arjuna is doing. He doesn't have the totality view, therefore he is suffering. Whereas Krishna has the totality view. The managing director has to have the totality view and say, okay, you are right up to this point and this is where you're making a mistake. You are right up to this point and this is where you're going wrong. So that he brings the two diverse factions together to work for a common purpose. Only an objective person can do that. It's like only an objective parent can resolve the conflict between two siblings, two children who are fighting. The third is, you grow. Atman is 100% objective. All of us have varying degrees of objectivity or involvement. A totally mad, insane person is 0% objective. So all of us are somewhere in between. To the extent you increase your level of objectivity, you grow into a towering personality. You then become a leader and you're able to influence people towards the positive. That's what Gandhiji did. That's what all the leaders did. That's what Shivaji did. That's what Abraham Lincoln did. That's what Churchill did, so on and so forth. So an essential quality of a leader is objectivity, and then when you're objective, you grow. So basically, the difference between being objective and involved is, when you are objective, you are apart from the situation. When you are involved, you become a part of the whole thing. The highest thought that Vedanta offers is, why must you be objective? Because the whole world, this waking world, is an illusion no different from a dream. It's exactly like a dream. So picture a dream. You go to sleep today And maybe because you've eaten some heavy food, you get this nightmare. Nightmare? Very often people dream this. That you went for a visit to a zoo and suddenly the lion breaks free from the zoo, from the cage, and starts chasing after you for some reason. And you're running for dear life. And you're calling out to the zookeepers, you're calling out to the public, say, please save me, save me. Does anyone have a gun? Shoot the lion. And there's a guard who comes running towards you. He has a gun. By the time he picks the gun, you can feel the lion's breath on you. The lion is about to pounce on you. And just then, half a second before the lion actually pounces on you, what happens? You wake up with a fright. You wake up sweating. You breathe a sigh of relief. Heave a sigh of relief. Why? Because now you've understood the entire scenario, which was so stressful and so painful, is nothing but a projection of your own mind. It's a dream that lasted only for a few seconds. Suppose you were able to re-enter the dream exactly at the same spot